Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy Gabi over here, and today I am going to be talking about different tricks that you can have when making a graphic novel or manga or comic book or whatever type of book you are trying to make with actual pictures in it. Now, if you see here, I have 185 pages of my own graphic novel, my own series called Me The Mumbie. And I've been working on the series now for 7 months, ever since July 11th, 2018. What are we on today? I think today's like the 22nd of February? Yeah, February the 22nd. And I am going to be talking about different tricks or tips that you could do while actually making your graphic novel or manga or comic book or whatever it is that you want to do. First, a lot of people say, like when do you know that your art is ready to actually start making the book? And now, one thing is this: a lot of people art styles differ. If like in case you want to like make a manga and you feel like your art doesn't really look Japanese or manga worthy, what really defines manga? Manga to me is nothing but another graphic novel. It's just a different style that the Japanese people draw in, so that will be a little bit different. But as well, you don't always have to make exactly the same thing that other people are making. You can just go ahead and do your own thing. So that's one thing. To really make sure when your art is like ready to do your book is when you feel comfortable with it. While you can look at the pictures and say, okay, that looks nice, and you would think that other people will actually enjoy it as well. As long as you're comfortable with your art, everything else just kind of falls in place, if you know what I'm trying to say. So, the tricks that I have in actually making this, I was making this book right here, or this project, while I was working at a regular job, and you'll say, how can you like balance the two out? And it's not so difficult. I've took, while writing the story, while I created the concept of the story and actually writing every chapter, I took 30 minutes off every day, and I used to write the chapter out on my cell phone. So on like quick memo or any type of notepad that you have on your phone. So I will actually write it down 30 minutes per day. And you'll be surprised within a month, you'll see how far you have come with your story, how many chapters you have completed with your story by doing 30 minutes per day of only writing it out. Then I used to take Saturdays and Sundays or any day I had off, and I used to actually storyboard the chapter that I just finished writing. And for most of you that don't know what storyboard is pretty much like the script and what you do. Let me give you an example, because I have a pack of storyboard right up here with me. Okay, so this would be like a storyboard, like chapter 3. I have chapter 3 like all mapped out. What the people are gonna say, the different scenery, who goes where, stuff like that, So that's pretty much your visual script for when you start making the actual comic or graphic novel or manga. So basically, one thing that I would advise you is to put yourself on a rule after you finish creating the story, writing the story, scripting the story as a storyboard. Once you start to go into the whole part of actually making the story, I would advise for you to put yourself a to-do list. So give yourself a goal. And the goal that I started off with was that I wanted to make 2 pages every day, sketched and inked. So I started off 2 pages every day. Sometimes I used to skip the whole 2 pages a day, because stuff happens. When I couldn't do 2 pages, I just would do 1. Sometimes on the weekends I do way more than 1. I do a good 4 pages in one hit, etc., etc. And sometimes I even did like 10 pages in one hit, and then I took the rest of the week off. The thing about it is that don't try to turn this into like hardcore work, and it's something that you should be enjoying, not something that puts you in misery. So whatever schedule you have, or to-do list or list of accomplishment that you want to do, you could go ahead and do it. And by 2 pages a day, if you really look at it, and you do 1 month of doing 2 pages a day, or even 1 page a day, that will be, in 2 pages, I say a month is 30 days roughly, it'll be 60 pages. And if you do 1 page a day, you still have 30 pages done in that month. Bad is when you just think about doing it and you never get around to it, because then you're never moving forward. Even if you do half a page per day, you just sketch half a day. If you really look at it, in 2 days you'll have 1 full page sketched. Then you can just ink it, and then you keep going. By a week of 7 days, you'll have at least 2 pages and a half done. And you know, that's 2 pages and a half more than what you had recently, because you had nothing, and and you'll never move on. So that's the one tip that I can really give you, or several tips. You know, start making your graphic novel, comic book, or manga once you feel that you're comfortable with your own art. Once it's pleasing to you, you can just go ahead and start. 2, put goals into how many pages you're going to do. And for those of you who actually wants to figure out how many pages does a graphic novel have to get, or manga, or comic book. Comic books are different, so let's go with graphic novels and manga. I'll say for my first volume, I want something roughly around 300 pages. You know, my first 8 chapters actually boosts up to 224, but I just want something that puts a little bit more of impact where the reader could actually stay there and read a little bit more. So that's one thing. But, you know, graphic novels and mangas can actually vary. It's all about how many pages you want to put in. But if I were to give you a number that would be like satisfying for a person, I'll say 160 pages minimum. You can even do 150 to tell you the truth, but 160 will be like the ideal page count minimum in one book that I will be pushing for. So yeah, guys, this is Gabi, and peace out. Make sure to comment, subscribe.